Hi guys, it is almost the weekend and I am so excited. I am heading out for my first solo camping trip. Where am I going? Petoskey, Michigan, to see the balloons that are going to be floating up in the sky, and there's going to be a lot of them, so I can't wait. But what I'm going to be sharing in the video are pieces of the journey, and that's going to include how I make sure the camper is ready to go, how I ensure safety for the camper and myself along the way, as well as have some fun in some of the sights that I'll be seeing. Before I leave, the first thing I want to do is make sure everything's working inside the camper. So I will do a check of all the systems. So the first thing I'll do is make sure that the propane in the stove is working. So I'll do a check to make sure it's flowing. And then once I do, I'll go and turn the propane off outside because you don't want to leave the propane on as you're driving. The next thing I'll do is make sure that the water levels are where they need to be, or the gauges where they need to be. So one, the gray is empty, so that's good. The black water tank, because it's been in storage for about 15, 20 days, we fill the black water tank, so I'll be draining that or dumping that at the dump station once I get to the campground. And then the fresh water is at 1/3. So right now what I'm getting ready to do is fill the fresh water tank. And then of course the battery's going to show full is because I'm connected to power right now since I'm on shore power. Alrighty, so we fill the freshwater tank. So I again want to make sure all the gauges read appropriately. So the gray is going to show empty, the black we're going to be dumping. The freshwater is now full. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I switched over from power fill mode to dry camp mode. So I want to make sure that the water systems are working, both hot and cold. So I will turn on the cold water. It's working. Sometimes you get air in the line and it may pop a little bit. And then the hot water is working. And then I'm going to go into the bathroom and I will make sure that first and foremost that I turned off the sink. It was still running. And then go in the bathroom and test the water systems. All good. The other thing is I will leave the sink down while I'm en route. Some sinks are foldable like this one, and you don't want it to pop down en route, so I just leave it down. And the toilet, I'm not going to make you sit through the flushing of the toilet. So all systems are go on the inside as well as the electrical, so I'll make sure that the lights are working. And they are. Checking the fan real quick. So we got to check what that is. I cleaned it and I haven't checked it since I cleaned it. So this is why we do the safety checks first. So I have a feeling that screw needs to be tightened in the middle. So I'll double check that. I think I found the culprit. So when I took the screen off, on the other side I found a loose screw. So where would the loose screw come from? Because whenever you see a loose screw, it belongs somewhere. Had a new fan installed in our bathroom, so we're thinking this probably, in looking at this, came from the old fan that had issues. So just to make sure this is working smoothly and we're getting good airflow, because we all have our personal summers from time to time. Yes, it's working. So the next is to check the bathroom fan. So I'm going to open that up. So as the fan's winding down, whenever you do your checklist and you turn something on, make sure you turn everything back off. So I'm closing down the fan. It's turned off. Wait for it to stop. Then I'll close it all the way down and make sure it's locked. Now that I know everything's working inside the camper, the next will be to finish packing up my personal belongings to put into the camper. And then it'll be hooking up the camper to the Jeep. Before I leave, I've got to say goodbye for the weekend. And is it going to be harder saying goodbye to these guys or my hubby? You decide. But actually, this is Gina. I'm going to miss you. And Cue Ball or Kaylin, miss you too. I will be back. I wish you could go with me. But they can't go. It's a photo trip. And before I put the final touch with the sway bar on, we have steps to make sure we have followed and executed. And we do a quick double check before we leave. And we keep it posted right here on the inside. So it's a good way to make sure we've crossed our T's and dotted our I's. So systems check has been done, safety check has been done, I'm attached, ready to go, said goodbye to the dogs. Now the most important thing I need to do is say goodbye to the hubby and give him a big hug and goodbye kiss. All right, I'm on the road and I am headed next to the gas station to fill up. So I have to do 92 octane to optimize the gas mileage, but we're almost on the road for sure after this next little stop. So the campground is absolutely beautiful. And this spot, I'm trying to decide the best parking spot since I'm parking solo. This one looks to be probably the easiest way to do it. And that way I am opening up to the fire pit and the picnic table, and my electricity will reach to the switch box, but the angle is kind of funny. I'd rather be facing the other way. So what will I do? Let's see. Well guys, it looks like I just might be the Friday night entertainment because I'm really trying hard to find a spot that is level and I'm having a difficult time, so I'm going back in for round 2 to see if I can't find a little bit more of a level space in my campsite. Okay guys, I am in the campsite. We are all set up, locked and ready to go, and I will give you guys a view. Well, it's time for bed and I am getting ready to call it a day. You know, this Friday started out like every other Friday just about. Got up and we were going to go through our normal weekend routines or getting ready for the weekend routine. And I decided, you know, this is the Friday where I'm going to embark on my first solo camping trip. You know, we've done a lot of camping trips, dispersed camping in this camper. We absolutely love it. But one of the reasons we got this camper so I could take it out for my photography trips and just get out and enjoy just some downtime, you know, solo. And while I haven't been here that long in the campground, and I'm actually doing a campground for my first trip just because I want to test the waters and make sure I've got everything down, it really has been a good experience. The leveling thing could have gone a little bit better, but hey, it's all part of the process, right? So I'm looking forward to tomorrow, and I'm all settled in, all cozy tonight. Look forward to a good night's sleep, and we will get back at it and see what tomorrow brings. So nighty-night. See you in the morning. Good morning. I'm up and at 'em, and I was heading over to watch the hot air balloons rise this morning. And of course, we get up early with all due intentions to have a great morning, and they cancel the balloon takeoff because of winds. So you know what, we're just going to make the best of a situation that didn't turn out. So I'm going to go do a little bit of exploring in Petoskey, Michigan, and hopefully they'll have the balloon take off this afternoon at 5:30. Regardless, it's a beautiful day and we'll see what we can find. I'm one of our harbors in downtown Petoskey. At the camper and getting ready to go outside and go for a walk, maybe a run. But I'm staying in Young State Park, which is one of Michigan's state parks, and we have many across the state that are absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to go see the trails and see some of the beaches and just enjoy the morning. Well, it's time to kick back. It's evening. The balloon festival didn't go off as planned, as you saw by the video. Even though it was pretty to see it try to fly, it wasn't able to fly, and tomorrow morning it's supposed to rain. And tonight it's supposed to rain, actually. So no northern lights either. So whether you travel solo or with someone, and you have your heart set on some things happening, and they don't happen, it can be frustrating. And I was starting to get frustrated today a little bit, and then I just kicked back. And when I went for the hike and the run and just being outside and then just enjoying being in the camper, it just cements the reason why having downtime, whether it's a camper or at home or just getting away, downtime is good for the senses. It's good for the soul. And I'm going to have some downtime and eating time next with my favorite drink. This is Northwood's Wild Ginger. It's not alcoholic and it only has 80 calories. It is fabulous. Now, if you like spicy foods, you'll love it. If you don't like spicy foods, I wouldn't go for this. It does make some people sneeze, but I crave anything spicy. Tonight I'm having fresh greens, feta, and this is crispy quinoa. And a lot of people just kind of bake. Typically quinoa is served with a little bit soft. I like to have mine crispy. So I saute and brown the butter first, and then I toss in the quinoa, and it makes a really nice, it really makes it nice and gives it a lot of texture. And then it's going to be working on the computer, doing some image work and some content work. So, time to kick back and eat. So this is marking the end of my first solo trip. And this trip was really more about the mechanics of managing the camper all by myself. As I'm getting ready to leave, I've gone through my internal checklist. Oh, that sun's getting really bright. And now I'm going through the external checklist. And the first thing that I'm going to do is lift the stabilizers. It's the first thing you do when you are getting ready to leave, so you don't forget. You don't want to leave your stabilizers down. And it's the last thing you do when you're setting up in case you have to make a move or you haven't gotten something quite right. Yeah, it's been fun, and now this is kind of the unsettling part because I'm putting it all back together before I hit the road, and I want to make sure I've dotted my I's and crossed my T's, and I'll show you the final product once I'm set up and ready to go. The ball hitch is locked, electronic brake attached, safety chains attached. So guys, this is probably my least favorite part of the camping process, and that is going to the dump station. And just for the record, girls and women, we poop. Men and boys, they poop, they crap, and they take dumps. So since it was just me this trip, all I'm going to do is purge the poo and then purge the gray water and make sure everything's clean and ready to go, and I'll be ready for the next trip, which is going to be coming up soon.